So your Christmas day is right here. I guess you decided to come around here for Christmas, and maybe instead of hanging out with all the other madness and all that. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Bad Jack JW here, and yeah, we got some really cool stuff here, and decided I guess if you wanted to hang out here on the channel for your holiday. Well, you are welcome, and you're here to hang out. So let's go ahead and look at some stuff. And I thought about this, and I brought out some things that I thought that to share with you and talk about that I like. This is kind of as at the moment, this is kind of my go-to pile to play with and have fun with, and of course a lot of things out of my collection have definitely come and gone over the years. So, and that just a lot of that is a result of just wish I had the money to keep them all, but I don't. So you just got to kind of learn to live with it and just kind of let things go in order to purchase other things. So you can keep playing with more stuff. So some of these are kind of recent acquisitions, and some of these are just kind of things I've had, and they kind of grew into something that I really enjoy. One of the first things I think it's fair to talk about, because it's always been kind of I've always had this love for these, and this is just a Ruger Mark II. These are fairly inexpensive, as they somewhat used to be inexpensive, and a little scratch right there, and that's part of the beauty of these is that's okay. I'm not gonna get crazy about that. Oh my gosh, there's a little scratch right there. What in the world am I gonna do? No, but this is really the first real semi-auto I started shooting at a range. We were renting one of these and shooting them. And this is an older, like I said, it's an older Mark II. I've always had the romance of the older stuff, and definitely this was one of them. Pretty much it's all stock. I don't change anything out, maybe the grips. And that's just me changing out grips and things like that. I've always been real keen to making something my own. I wanted to personalize it. I've always wanted to kind of add a personal flavor to it. I always kind of knew it was mine, and I'm a big grip person. I love just different types of grips and all that. So, of course, I put these kind of, you could almost say, kind of the aged bone-looking grips. Almost looks like a like an old banana. But no, there you go. Yeah, just nothing special, no frills, no thrills. Just a simple Mark II, and and what I like about it is, of course, they're inexpensive. Well, they work. This is one of those 22 autos that they just work. It'll feed anything. It'll pretty much. I wish I would have got this on tape, but I didn't. I was just goofing around one day at a range. And I actually got this thing to feed 22 shorts, if you can believe that. That's no joke. I actually got this thing. I loaded a couple in the magazine and put them in there, and it actually did feed and function. I was completely taken by that. I couldn't believe that actually worked. But yeah, I actually got this thing to shoot CCI CB shorts. But this thing will literally almost shoot just about anything. I found, and a lot of if you're into 22 autos, that they can be really picky. Sometimes you gotta find the right brand of ammo that's gonna work. Years ago, I had a Vantage Arms conversion unit for Glock, and I just, for the life of me, I could not get that thing to cycle and work properly with different types of ammo. And I mean, I was still at that point and I still am ill-informed about just how things work. I couldn't figure it out. I thought the thing was just garbage or whatnot, and I actually ended up returning it to the shop that I got it from. And they actually did return it for me. Just he was not granted he was kind of a friend of mine, is a friend of mine. But yeah, I couldn't get it to work. But what I later is I found out a lot of those 22 auto things are going to be very dependent on the type of ammo you're running through it. Uh, so the rule of thumb with a lot of that stuff is if it malfunctions with CCI mini mags, then you probably got something wrong with your gun. But that's the nice thing about this. It will just about feed just anything, and they're inexpensive. I think I picked this one thing up for under $300, and it was brand new in the box. Just somebody had probably had it for years and just never really messed with it because it had its original. I still got it somewhere, lost in a bunch of things, but it's got its original yellow box, the original, cardboard yellow with the logo on it and everything, and inside is the original factory grips that I have for it and everything. But of course, I bought it to shoot it, so I wasn't gonna worry about that. So I started shooting it, and nothing. I didn't. It's just got fixed sights, basic sights, no heavy barrel or anything like that. It's fairly light, and that's one thing is for a 22. That's it. One of the other things that I like, I didn't bring it out because I can't. I couldn't put a hand on it in the safe. I have a 22 1911 that I put together. I kind of just I just pieced it all together. Of course, it took some time because some of the pieces had to file and fit. I have bought a frame from I believe I forget who had it, but it ended up being what I was looking for. It's an aluminum frame, and the top end, the conversion unit, is a Kimber conversion unit 22 that I bought from a buddy of mine. I wish it was a commander size, but it's a full size. I put this thing together specifically as a 22, and that's what I wanted. Just a 22. So it's an aluminum frame, aluminum slide, and it's a 1911. It's in 22. It's great. I love it. Like I said, that would have been definitely in this pile, but I just couldn't put a hand on it. So it's one of my favorites to take out because it's just when it comes at weight, it's just for plinking around. And the nice thing about it is because it's so lightweight, it gives you a little bit of something to react to a little bit. I mean, 22 is still 22, but it gives you a little bit of something to play with there. So that's one of my favorites. And of course, it's just kind of a hodgepodge, Frankenstein, thrown together. I believe like I said, the frame is a para ordnance. I believe it definitely is. But it's just a really rough cutout frame, but it's aluminum and all that. I don't think I'm not sure. I don't think it was a like a takeoff frame or something else. I think the company they had a bunch of them and they were just selling them out. Like I said, I don't think it was anything special, but it is a para ordnance frame that I got. So, and speaking of 1911s, I got to say one of my favorites definitely is this Springfield Armory Ronin. This is the Ronin package in a commander variant, which is, of course, the barrel and the slide shorter a little bit, and it's a 9mm. I know some people are just immediately turned off by the fact of having a 1911 and 9mm. It took me a little while to come around to it myself because I definitely was not interested in a 1911 and 9mm until I started shooting them. And I started saying, well, hey, I really like that, and I came around to it, and I've been actually preaching that or talking about that on channel for quite some time. I get a lot of crap for that. I really do. A lot of people, they make sure that when they make their comment, they 45 auto, I love the 45 auto. I always still do, but I find myself, I shoot a lot less of it. And as you'll see as I go through this list of stuff that I brought out, there isn't a 45 auto in here. So my once beloved cartridge, but I enjoy messing around with these a lot more. And of course, this being the Ronin, and I bought this actually when you really during the worst time to try to get these things, and I could not find it, and I actually had to buy it from somebody on Gunbroker, and if I ever, I don't think I've seen them much around. Aside from getting them that one day, maybe hopefully Springfield will continue making them. They have the EMP one. I would have bought the EMP model, which is basically a shorter version of this. The grip I think is a little bit shorter, and so is the slide and barrel. Again, it's shorter. I think it's more towards the officer's model if you're kind of going by the Colt standard. But the one thing that I did not like about it, and the one thing that made me immediately change my mind, is it doesn't take 1911 magazines. It's its own proprietary magazine, so I'm not going to even mess with that. I don't go there. When it comes to 1911s, and I'm not getting paid by them or anything like that, but I tell you, the real big deal breaker is the Wesson Combat magazine. This is all over it, man. This is what it takes, is the Wesson Combat magazine. These are the key, and they're 1911 magazines and 9mm. Larry Vickers, like he's preached it many times. He's praised them, and I gotta say he's absolutely correct. They have broke the code on creating that perfect, very reliable magazine. And I will say that if you have a 1911 and you're experiencing problems, try a Wesson Combat magazine in there, and if it still does it, you can pretty much rule out the magazine. I've known so many people that they'll sit there and they'll tell me, oh that 1911's, it's not working, and they are running the crappiest magazine that they can find. I mean, just like the most terrible magazine that you can possibly get. It's like they find it in a bucket in the bargain bin at the gun shop for $5, and then it's like you're running a $5 magazine in a $1,500 gun. There's your problem. But no, they start sending their gun off to a gunsmith and paying all this money and blaming all this and blaming that and blaming, it's like, how about start with a good magazine? So, but yeah, so back to this, there's some things that I changed up on it. I did change a lot of things on it. Like I said, I like to personalize my stuff. So I've actually had that comment before. They said, hey, Bat Jack, how come your Ronin doesn't look like the one that I have, or the one I saw in the shop? Again, I'm big on customizing my own. The stuff I'm going to keep, really, I mean, I do tend to customize them and change them up for the way they look and appear quite a bit. This one here has got a dark gray frame. I don't know how well you'll pick that up in the video, but that frame, this is a two-tone gun. As it is a two-tone gun to start with, I think it's a silver frame when you get it, but I changed it up to a kind of a dark charcoal kind of gray frame. I did that myself, and then I replaced the mainspring housing with a polymer mainspring housing. And of course, when I have a bucket of these, because I was just like always changing them out from Colts, and I never understood why Colt even did that, but they did, and I always thought they were junk and pointless. But actually, in this case, it serves a purpose, and the purpose is because this is a lightweight alloy frame. The whole point is to keep this gun lighter. So I looked at the biggest, heaviest thing on the frame and mainspring housing, so I removed that, even though I'm more of a fan of the arch mainspring housing. But if I ever find an arch polymer one, I will certainly scoop it up, especially if it's a good price. That's where I'm at with that. So that is something I changed out. Of course, I left the grip safety and the hammer, and I believe the hammer, the hammer on mine has been also blackened. I blacked out the hammer, and I put a short trigger in mine. I did not like the longer trigger because of the way my hand fits it. I just like that shorter trigger and shorter reach, and then of course obviously the grips. change it out to the kind of skip checker kind of crosshatch grips, the 80s and whatnot, kind of that old school look. So yeah, that's definitely that is one of my faves. I love this thing. That's my 1911 of choice now. If I go to the range, somebody says, hey, going to go to the range, want to shoot some 1911s, more than likely that's what I'm going to take. So, all right, and I guess the newest acquisition would be, and it's become my instantly one of my favorites right away, is the new Walther PPK. Yep. Just finally got one. I was looking for one in the black finish, and that's what this is. It's that, I think they call it the melanite finish. It is a stainless gun, and they did it in this beautiful melanite kind of a finish on it. And one thing I really like about it, I talked about it, is that it's not a Cerakoting or anything. It's not like you're gonna you feel like a different, like a plasticky feel to it. No, you still feel the steel, and you can actually still see all the polishing marks where they the scratches or where they shaped it. I guess whatever. Yeah, but you can. My point is, it still feels like a blued steel gun, which in a sense it is. Now, the melanite coating is very much like nitrate coating, and it's a very good decision that Walther did for this, because the results are very uniform, very repeatable, very easy, and extremely durable. A good example of the finish on this is like a Glock slide. So that and the finish is tough. It really is just really durable. So this one's in 380. They're offering it 380. One of the things I really liked about it is it's a true PPK. This is not a PPK S. The S has a longer grip and the steel on the back. Now the PPKs have this type of grip that close up here in the back, and then if you actually take the grips off, the entire back strap is exposed, and you can see the mainspring and all that. They did extend this a little bit to help with the slide bite. I wasn't sure if I was going to like that at first when I got them or was looking at them, but actually it's grown on me quite so much that now if I look at one without it, I'm kind of like, whoa, what, so it does grow on you. And the fact it's a true PPK, and it just, everything on it, it just seems so much, it just feels way better built than the older ones. I mean, I know it's like I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm a collector, but honestly, I wouldn't trade this for an older one. If somebody said, "Hey, we'll trade you for this older one," I'd probably trade them for the older one, go sell it, and then buy another one of these and keep the rest of the cash. Because I feel like this is so much better made. And it feels like it's just going to be durable. It's going to last. It feels strong. All together, it's just better. And a little bit something to talk about on that, in that aspect. And this is kind of referring, mostly I've seen it take place a lot with such as like the CMP program with the 1911s coming out with those. Also the Colt Python, the new Python. A lot of collectors like to I'm mostly like the Python, the 2020 Python. A lot of these you hear a lot of the bad words about it. They're whatever. So a lot of that comes from money, greed, money. Some people are very upset that those are out because their prized Python or old PPK are no longer not saying that they're totally worthless now, but they're not going to command. You're not going to be able to hold just the market. You're not going to be able to be the only one out there now. Now that you can, like for me, I'm a big fan of James Bond. That's why I like him. That's it. Movie Bond. If it really wasn't for James Bond, I wouldn't have any kind of really interest in this. And that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. It's all about that film. So for $760, just to get this new one out that's really well made and beautiful and durable, and there it is. and it satisfies the want and the attraction to one, and you got one. It's a legitimate Walther. It's not under license by anybody, and there you go. And it's right there. Same with the Python. Somebody who always wanted Python. Well, you don't have to go pay the guy $3,500 and more. You could go pay $1,400 and get one, and it's beautiful, and they're made exactly the way they were. There's no weird obtrusive thing that's so different, and you can't. Oh my gosh, it's so different. It's not the case. The Pythons you could take the new Python and an old Python, put it in your hands, close your eyes. You would honestly probably wouldn't tell a difference. You probably actually picked a new one because you're going, hey, that action is a lot smoother. Wait, but that's a rabbit hole that opens up a can of worms, and people just get all up in uproar. And a lot of it has to do with the money, because they're just, I noticed when I looked on Gunbroker and stuff, I noticed that the ones that are commanding the $3,500 are now the ones that are extraordinary. I mean, they are just like, you got the box, the papers, it's practically untouched and all that. Now the run-of-the-mill ones that are got some flaws in it, or not dramatic flaws or anything, those are the ones that are sitting around for $2,500, and I mean still nobody's put a bid on them. But anyway, so that's just, so what I'm saying is try not to get too sucked into all that, because that could, just don't listen to so much of the gossip. Go out there and experience it on your own. When I got this, I already did my research on it. I kind of knew that it was going to be pretty decent, but when I got it, I had no idea it was going to be this good. It really is. It's that much better, and I really like this thing a lot. And it's a true PPK, and it's a real Walther. Not made by under license or anything. Not that those are bad or anything, but it's nice to have the real deal. All right. So with the same kick is doing that, is talking about that, and I know some people are they're just like, ugh, Glock. I don't like Glock. I like them. I like the simplicity of them. I like there's a cool factor of them because they're in a lot of movies. Music videos from back in the day when these things were just like considered like oh my gosh, like especially Die Hard 2 where he's that's a Glock 7. There was never a Glock 7. It's a porcelain gun. Wait a minute. What? No, but this is a very different one that you may kind of recognize. It may look very bare bones. It may look extremely different, and most people just probably say they look ugly. To me, they're cool. I like them. I mean, I've always always kind of it took me a little while to come around to them. I didn't always like them, but once I kind of fell in love with them, I love the simplicity of them. I really do. And so what this one is I started to get very interested in the older ones, Gen 1, Gen 2, and I looked for I have a buddy of mine, and he knows exactly who he is. And a lot of times he's watching these things, and you know who I'm talking about. He was collecting them, and I thought he's nuts. I said, what? I mean, to each their own. But I thought, collectible, worth money, a Glock? Are you okay? I eat my words, because if you look for a Gen 1 Glock now, and it's in the Tupperware box, I seen them fetching $2,500. That's no joke. There you go. I mean, so Lipsy's got with Glock, and they released this thing. And basically what this is a retro throwback. What you basically are getting out of this is a Gen 1 Glock. And that's really cool. To me, it's awesome because that's what I wanted. And this is not, and I was not, when I heard about them, I was like, I'm not paying no $1,000 for a Glock. But they're not. They're $600. At least that's what I paid for mine, $599. They're right there at the proper price where they should be, so you can have it, shoot it, or collect it, put it in a box, which is probably, I'm sure at some point this will be collectible. But I just want to shoot it and have fun with it, and I got it, and there it is. You got a Gen 1 with the pebble stone and, you know, no finger grooves, the little cutout here. And I mean, they, again, you know, this is a company that went back and pretty much did it exactly. There's no huge thing that's like, oh my gosh, like they put this giant, you know, like, no, it's exactly a great reproduction by Glock themselves of that pistol. So there you have it. And they even went even further and did the Tupperware box. So now you inside the great packaging, we have an unboxing video of it. You get the original Tupperware box. So, hey. So, yeah, there you go with that. So, anyway. And, of course, before we walk out of here, my Smith & Wesson. Yeah, I know you guys are been waiting. You're like, where's the revolver? Come on. Smith & Wesson Model 28. Love it. Love it. Because I liked it because I was looking for something that wasn't going to be, I didn't want something that was going to be all beautiful and polished up, because once I get something like that, I polish it up, I clean it up, and then it sits in the safe and it doesn't go out. So I've been getting away from that, and this fit the bill. This certainly fit the bill. This is the Model 28, so it doesn't have the gorgeous lustrous finish on it, the bluing, but it has a bluing on it that I certainly do not mind at all. In fact, some cases somebody would, really, that's not a high polished blue. No, it's great end frame, so it's good and strong. 357 Magnum, mostly just shoot the 38s in it and enjoy it. So. Anyway, hopefully you have a good Christmas out there. Thanks for hanging out with the channel, and hopefully we kept you company for a little while. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and all that, and we will see you next time.